Hello, my name is Jacob Lesbrant, and this is my final project for ET 142 Intro to Programming at UW Green Bay. So, for my final project, I decided to do an Arduino-based color sorting robot arm, and I will demonstrate how that works. So, just put on a green block, and the green LED turns on. So the robot arm will pick it up and move it to its designated bin. So I just put on a blue block, and the robot arm will pick up the blue block and move it to the designated bin for the blue blocks. And just put on the red block, red LED turns on, and the robot arm will move that to its designated bin. And after that, you can just run that continuously. So turn that off, it's a little bit noisy. I'll walk through the code a little bit. So here I included the servo library and Arduino. And these are all just the variable type, the name of the variable, and the numbers on the right correspond to the Arduino pin that it's connected to. So here in the setup, I attached the servo motors from the robot, and I set the initial position for each servo. So whenever I power it up, the servo motors will move to these positions right away. Here I define the inputs and outputs for the LEDs, the motor, and the sensors. And here I do digital write S0 high and S1 high. These are pins from the color sensor. So putting S0 and S1 on high levels means the output frequency scaling is at 100%. And setting it to low is off. High-low is 20% and low-high is 2%. Here I start the serial monitor, which will print the data on the screen. So walking through it, I say analog read the data, which is the data that's being collected by the color sensor, which I have down here in its own loop. So basically I have data equals pulse in, out, low. So I set it to low. And we wait until out goes low. We start measuring the duration and stops when out is high again. So basically it's a time duration measured, which is related to frequency, as the sensor gives a frequency depending on the color. So the higher the frequency, the lower the duration, and this delay here will print that data every 20 milliseconds. So moving back to the top, I have a lot of if statements, if else statements. So if both sensors detect an object, stop the motor. If just the proc sensor detects an object, stop the motor. Here was the trickiest part, which was setting a timer for this sensor right here. So I had to have it stop the conveyor for 1 second, and then the color sensor will read the data, and then it will turn on the corresponding LED. So walking through it, so I have a while statement for the timer, So if data is less than 12, I know it'll detect a blue block. And if data is greater than 12 and less than 22, the block is green. And if data is greater than 22, the block is black, or in this case, I said red. But it is actually just detecting the color black, but it is a red block. So moving on. So if the blue is detected, the robot moves in these positions. So it does a digital read of the front prox sensor, which is right here. And if that's low and the blue LED is on, then the robot will move to these positions and pick the block and move it to its designated bin. And I should also mention with these servo motor positions, the this category right here, that is the actual position from 0 to 180 of the servo motor. This right here, this middle number is the speed, and true means wait. It means wait until this movement is done to perform the next one. If I were to set it to false, it would run in the background. So I have something very similar to the other two colors. And basically that's about it. It just runs continuously. Thank you for listening and have a nice day.